everybody, Mike Pfeiffer, Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. Today we're going to do update 32 and hope you enjoy it. Okay, on the last video I had a little rant. I'm not going to rant like that anymore, and I apologize to you guys who are not the ones that it was aimed at. But as I said in the other video, I know who you guys know who you are. I have a lot of faithful guys, and there's a very tiny, minuscule amount of guys that are a problem. So anyways, and they're not really a problem, but I don't like to deal with that stuff. So we're going to get on with 32 here, and I hope you enjoy this one. There's a little bit of everything in here. Okay, in the last video I did, I neglected to show you that I ballasted the track up here. I used a mix of medium and fine brown Woodland Scenics, and I don't like it. But it's there, and I'm not going to change it because you don't see very much of it. So that's going to stay. What else I forgot to show you was the gravel going in and the weathering of the stone here on the underpass under the trestle fill. And as you can see, the train on the upper level is running and running and running and running. It's been running for quite some time. But anyway, there's the gravel in the lower level. Now another thing we're going to back up and take a look at is this afternoon I've been planting a ton more trees. So that area has probably another 50 trees on it. There's probably about 25 trees along the back edge. Another, say 50 right in what you see in the camera here. And all the way around and on the hill down there. So it almost makes the Indian ruins obscure. But the cool thing is, people will see it back there and go, oh, there's Indian ruins back there. I think it's cool. So anyway, I've got trees all the way down to the edge here. Some of the glue on the bottoms of them is not dry yet, so they show. But let's step back and take a look. I think that really blends in nicely. And I think that's about all of them I want to put in there. This little pile right here is deciduous trees that I found within the pine trees. I'll put them in the other box with the deciduous trees, and when I get around over here where I need them, I'll put them in. So anyway, last night, I can't remember last night if I showed you this. If I showed you this, it's just redundancy. But I got these switches in right here. The two right here will go into the junkyard. That will go to somewhere that we don't know what's going to be there yet. And of course you guys saw the engine facility. So that's where I'm at today. My back is sore. The backs of my calves are sore from bending over and putting trees in. I think I put about another total 150 or so in. Yeah, I know it doesn't look like it, but I did. Well, I have two things to tell you. I made two fatal errors during my construction of the upper level track and the lower level track. While I have had no trains derail on the upper level track while running them, the train happened to be sitting in the loop down at this end, and this end being this end towards the door. I was putting in trees and stuff, and I was kind of putting my awl up there and then hitting my awl with the top of my hand to get holes through to put trees in. Well, in the process of that, I derailed the train on the upper level inside, and when I went to grab the train, let me see if I can get you guys to... That's the upper level up. Whoops. That's the upper level up there. And when I went to grab the trains, it fell off on the opposite side. And that is enclosed over there by the fascia, which you can barely see the bottom of the hole that's cut in it over there. So my answer was to get the cars out was to take the fascia off, pull the fascia back, not take it off, but pull it back. And then I hot glued that black foam core board up there all the way around so the cars don't fall down on the other side of it and I can't reach them. So I did that, put the fascia back up, then I realized I had that hole down there so I could look down and see the train at the other end. So I had to cut that square hole in the black foam core board. But now the trains can't fall over. If they come off the track, they'll have to fall on this side where I can get to them. So that's one saga. Now the other saga is when I built the layout. Hang on, I'm trying to turn around and my legs are all under me. My other saga is that when I built the track here and I built the upper level, you guys know how I did it. I put the foam backdrop, glued it and screwed it to the front of the upper level track, and then the lower level track just goes by. And let me show you a picture and I'll explain what I did wrong. So you can see the bottom of the upper level risers in the background, and you can see the lower level coming downhill in the foreground, and then you can see it when it's at 0 in the extreme foreground. Now the problem here is I was going to fill that behind there and underneath the upper level track with foam before I put the upper level on. Well, dopey me, I didn't do it. So I lost some cars back in there, and I can get to them. I mean, I could reach them with my hand and get them out of there, but it's just very inconvenient. So now today what I've done, and you can see some over there, I've stuffed that back there with newspaper. You can see it there. I've stuffed that with newspaper, so if I lose a car now, it can't go down in there. I can just grab it. So it's just a quick fix for the problem. And let me get you back. It'll work. It'll keep them from falling back where I can't see them. So I won't miss any cars back there if I lose them back in behind there. There's always, let me get off my leg. There's always a risk when you do what I did and you put a lower level on. But the lower level operates so fine that there's not an issue here. The issue was my stupidity of not filling that gap. And I knew that when I put the top on, I wouldn't have access to that. And there was a possibility of losing cars there. But in my hurry to get the upper level on, I neglected to fill that void behind the lower level track. So that was my stupid fault, but now there's newspaper in there so that they can't fall all the way down. I just crumpled up newspaper and stuffed it in there. It should work fine. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I knew you'd wonder why I was down here on the floor, because I don't like being down on the floor. Well, everybody, I guess today's my day for being stupid. Here I am. I'm on the floor again. Why? I'll show you, because I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did. Right up here, you see that plastic loop there? That's what I chose to use to hold my light reel. From the last little clip I took, I went to retract my reel, and that broke. And of course it's laying on the floor. So now I've got to get a steel hook and put it up there and hang it from a real metal hook. Stupid thing number 2, but I thought you guys would get a kick out of it. Hey everybody, tonight I came out here, I think it's Wednesday night, and I soldered these 2 pieces of track in for the scrapyard. The scrapyard will occupy everywhere you see straight track and those 2 green pins way back there between the 2 switches. This will all be scrapyard. So even though it's not long and skinny, it'll be shorter and fatter. And then I'm thinking about putting the motel right over here. Curio shop across, gas station over on that corner. Anyway, that's kind of the mindset here of why these look like they do and why they're shorter than they could be. So that's that. As you can see, I had the cleaning train out tonight. So what I did is I went through and I cleaned the points on all those switches that I had painted. And I've got all of those working now. The whole track is working, but I stopped the train here and I closed off the CMX car. And I'll come out here tomorrow maybe and run some more trains, but I'm just kind of tired tonight, I guess. But, oh, let me show you something here. I did get the train up above working again after the rigmarole that I explained. Changed out the cars, put the mine cars away, put some box cars on there. But we'll check it when it comes around. Okay, everybody, here's Robin's witch house that she and I have worked on. Mostly her. All the dolls are made by her. And I helped her a little bit with the brick stuff on the outside, but she did most of it. But it's really cool. And she just got done building the chest back here with the lights on it. It was a kit, and actually you can see the top of her head in the mirror of it. There she is. And it turned out really cool. She did that whole thing. It came as a kit form, and I think it's pretty neat. So there's the witch house. Okay, everybody, I decided to come out here and start putting color on. And we're down that far, basically to the bridge, at least on the back portion. I've got half of it done coming out here to the front. I've got it done to the road over here. And if we stand back, that's what it's shaping up to look like. Okay, to do this, to put that down, I don't spray it. I'll show you how I do it in a minute. But I get my colors ready. I've got some really dark there. I've got some really light, which I used along the back edge way over there and around that back corner that you can't really see. Then I have some coarse turf in here that I have yet to use. But I take all my colors and I put them each in a little dish that I can get my fingers in. And then, of course, I just reach in here, get what I want, and just start sprinkling it. You can see that I sprinkle it around with my fingers where I want it to be. And then what I will tell you is it looks a lot better, in my opinion, when you take and mix these colors all together in the shades that you want. As I was putting this down, some things became evident to me. And that is that I have a couple of low spots here. One there and one right there. And I think I'm going to put some standing water in those, because there's going to be cows and cowboys back there. And I think the cows will be back there having a drink, and the cowboys will be herding them down to the ranch over here. But anyway, you can kind of see that I just do random colors along the back. And I make them a little darker as they go away. So here you can kind of see how the foreground's a little lighter and the back's a little darker. It's just kind of the way it's turning out, but that's kind of the way my eye sees it, I suppose, and those are the colors that I put back there. So the track is not ballasted yet, but all that track back there is, well, most of it is painted. I have enough painted to almost do this corner. I can get up to the road here, is what I can do. And then I've got to do some track painting out here a little bit. There won't be any scenery on this side of the road here because there's going to be junkyard there. And I'm hoping to be able to put the little motel there. So until I get that situated, I want to get all the back done. This is what I'm jabbering on about. So what I will do is I will make sure the paint is good going all the way on down there and do up to the canyon going down the middle here. Okay? Now, how I do it, I have a baby eyedropper in there, which is what I do ballasting with, and I have 3 sizes of brushes, and depending where I'm going, I just dip the brush in here and slap the slap the glue on only where I want it to be. Okay, and I have this, and I don't even know where to tell you to get one of those. I think I got it at a hair place. But anyway, it's a real fine mist sprayer for like hairspray. And the top of it unscrews, and I fill it about 1/3 of the way with alcohol, and then I put this particular one, I put distilled water in just because I had it here. I don't know whether this distilled water does it any good. It sure worked good in the airbrush. But anyway, sometimes I put the glue on first, put some of the scenery material on there, and then spray it, mist it with this mister. Then I come back and put some of the other colors on. And what that does is it wets the colors that you're adding, and it makes them suck the glue up into that, okay? At least that's the theory here. It's worked for me before, and we won't really know how this is going to look and what I'll have to touch up until I vacuum it. But anyway, everybody, there's a section, and I hope you like it. And like I say, I put it on with the different size brushes depending on where I need to be. And I have that large one, I have a medium one, and I have this little tiny one if I had to say, get in this little crack right here. So, which I didn't use this time. And then the container's a little bit big because my stupid eyedropper falls down in there. And the only time I use the eyedropper is if it just looks like it's not sticking. I'll go back and put some on some of the heavier stuff with the eyedropper, and if it creates some flows or some holes, I just go back and put some more scenery material in there. Okay, here's some trees that help to tie us into the background. I haven't carried them out here too far yet. Put some in the back over there. I haven't worked my way out this way yet, and I got to get the farmhouse in place and the road and the store and all that before I get too crazy out here. But I like the way that's coming along. All right, everybody, I put some clump foliage in around, and as you can see, I did some static grass. Now, obviously the glue is not dry on the static grass, but it's there. And I took some down here to this side of the road, and I got a little pad kind of leveled off there for the ranch house, and a road coming down that goes to the highway that's designed for the ranch house. Now I can't put the ranch house there because that's still wet, and I have to put a wire down through for the lights. But here you go. This is what I have at, hold on one second, at almost 4 o'clock. I'm probably going to wrap this up and do an intro and outro because this is probably all I'm going to get done this evening. Okay, that's it for 32. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm kind of liking the way this is looking. All I got to do is continue it on. And I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but there's a bunch of thunder going on here. We're having one heck of a rainstorm. I would imagine after looking at the radar today that Ruidoso up there in the mountains might be getting hit with this third of a flood up there. Man, they've had heck with flooding this year. The forest fires just wiped out anything to hold all this water back, and the ground is saturated up there, and it just comes down through there. But at least everybody, I believe, up there is smart enough to be away from the flood zone now, at least until this rainy section of weather gets out of here. But anyway, wishing those people the best, wishing all of you the best, and I hope you like this one. And as I always say, thanks for watching.